What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we got a review video for y'all, and today's review is going to be on the Arrma Kraton 6S. I've had this RC car for about 3 or 4 months now, and I fell in love with it. When I got into the RC hobby about 6 months ago, I actually bought the Traxxas Rustler. And just a little background for you guys, I've only really been into the RC and actually playing with them like a lot for probably 4 months now. But my whole childhood, my uncle and my friends always had these RC cars, and I always wanted them, but they're just too expensive, and my mom would never get me one because she said they break too easy. So I'm gonna go over some of the features that this car comes with, and then I'm gonna give y'all some of my personal experience with this car and to tell y'all why and how much I love it. Just a quick breakdown of my experience from the last 4 months. So I originally bought the stock Traxxas Rustler 2-wheel drive, and I loved it, don't get me wrong. I ended up upgrading it, putting the Millennium system in it, getting it to go about 70 miles an hour, and I loved it, don't get me wrong. But the one thing that I found out is a real big problem with that one is it's 2-wheel drive, so it's super hard to control, especially when you take off, because you just want to spin out so much. So that's why I ended up getting the Arrma Kraton 6S, which is 4-wheel drive. Of course, Arrma does not make any cars that are not 4-wheel drive. All the Arrma's cars are 4-wheel drive. Getting a 4-wheel drive really made a huge difference in the performance and how you can control it on the dirt and the concrete. Also, I really do think that the Arrma Kraton is way more durable than the Traxxas Rustler, but I also do know that Traxxas has one of the most durable RC cars in the world, the Traxxas X-Max. But before we get into the details and what comes on it and everything inside, I just want to let y'all know that I have done some insane bashing with this car. Jumping it off of huge hills, jumping it off of these jumps on the track, backflips, wrecking, racing, all kinds of stuff. And I have not broken any major parts. One thing I can say that's super durable on this one over the Traxxas Rustler is the drive shafts. Now, I know it has metal drive shafts, and most of Traxxas cars only have plastic drive shafts, but I have done multiple backflips and multiple tricks in the air where you get a lot of speed, you're in the air, and you just rip the brake, and you can hear everything lock up, and normally that'll break a plastic one. It has not broke this one. And another thing I want to tell y'all about is the diffs on this car. The diffs on this car are amazing. If you watch Kevin Talbot and a bunch of other RC YouTubers, or even if you just know about RCs and you're into it a lot, you know that it's a major no-no to do a jump and land on power. If you don't know what that means you hit a jump, you're in the air, and yang, 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 you know, you just got it pegged out, and then you hit the ground with all that power still spinning. That puts a lot of pressure on your drive shafts and your diffs. And I have had that happen on the Rustler a few times, and I broke the spur gear. I've had that happen a bunch of times on this one, and it just shakes it off like nothing happened. This thing is a beast, y'all. Alright guys, so this is the overview of what comes on here. Now, everything in this car is stock besides these fans and the pinion gear I got in it. So it comes with the Spectrum Firma 205, with whatever all them numbers mean. I don't know what that means, but it comes with the Spectrum Firma motor, and it has the Spectrum Firma 150 amp Smart ESC 4S and 6S it can run. It also has a Spectrum metal geared servo. That's for your steering, of course. Waterproof receiver, and everything's supposed to be waterproof electronics, but I try not to get it wet. When this car comes stock, you don't fully need these fans, but if you're going to upgrade your pinion gear, you're for sure going to need some fans because this thing gets super hot. These fans do help it stay pretty cool, but you still have to give it a little cool down time sometimes, especially if you're running real hard. And the ESC gets pretty hot, but that fan on there keeps it pretty cool too. I ain't never had no overheating or no problems. One thing I really like about this is this bar that comes across. As you can see that, guys, that is to help from bending your chassis. Now, I don't think we've ever done any jumps that are big enough to have to worry about that, but if you do, that helps you keep your chassis straight without bending. And since we're talking about the chassis, this is what it looks like. I'm not exactly sure what this chassis is called. I'll pop it up on the screen for y'all. But I have taken some serious drops and landed on the bottom multiple times on rocks, gravel, concrete, all kinds of stuff, and it just put some scratches on it with no major problems. So if you guys were looking for a big RC car with a lot of speed and super durability, I would definitely highly suggest get this one. This is my favorite RC car that I've ever seen or played with. You know, my friends have some too, but Arrma is for sure my favorite brand now. So in the front axles, it has front pivot ball suspension, and it is kind of weird when you got to take it off, but I haven't had no problems with it or breaking, so it does seem to hold up pretty good. All right, y'all, and it comes with the Spectrum SLT3 radio, and you can put your throttle in reverse, you can put your steering in reverse. You have on your throttle, you have 50, 75, and 100%, so you can put it lower if you're letting somebody with not as much experience use. You have options for 50, 75, and 100% throttle. So we're on 100 right now, but we'll go to 50. So I'm gonna give it a full speed takeoff and show y'all how it takes off. All right, y'all, so that was a 50% takeoff. So now we're gonna move up to 75 and show y'all the difference. So now we're gonna go up to 100, which is full power, and this is what I always play with it on. This thing will get dangerous. Popped a wheelie. Woo! And this is your steering sensitivity, so if it turns too much or too fast, you can set that so the steering servo won't spin as fast. It says SR, but it's how much your servo actually puts the power out. So you see we have it all the way up, and look how fast it turns. See, that's all the way up. But with this controller, if that's too fast a turning for you, you can turn it down some, and then you can see you turn it down, and you'll be able to see that it don't turn as fast. And if that's still too fast, again, you could just turn this knob down, and so you turn slower. But I like mine all the way up with full steering power. This is your throttle. You want to make sure that's in the middle, and this is your steering adjustment. So you can make, if you're going down the road and you're turning a little bit, you can use that one and make sure you go straight. And this is just the controller. Nice little controller. You have optional buttons to add other stuff. So on the shock towers, you have these big old shocks. I'm not sure what the name of them are, but I love these shocks. They do really good with taking big impacts off of high jumps, and I've never really had it bottom out that much, except for them big jumps. So if you was wondering how big this car is, it's actually kind of on the bigger side. It's 29.4 by 20.5 by 11.6 inches. A little bit bigger than the Arrma Outcast and the Arrma Notorious, if you know what those cars are. It weighs 22 pounds. All right, guys, so I'll put a little link in the description or pop it up right here somewhere on the video to show you guys like all the specs that come with it, in case I didn't explain something that you guys wanted to know. But overall, with my experience with this car, guys, I think this is an incredibly durable car. I highly recommend you get it if you want to get into RCs and you want to get something fast, big, that could do all the drifting and stuff and take heavy jumps. I definitely suggest this one. So for speed and performance, I would actually give this car about an 8 out of 10. For durability, I think I would give it about a 7, maybe an 8 too. It's real. I haven't had nothing break. The only thing that I noticed that is a little bit of a problem with the stock version is the stock tires that they come with. Now, I love the stock tires it comes with. They're amazing. They grip real good and they got plenty of tread on them. But if you're gonna go ahead and start upgrading your pinion gear and all that and making it faster, those tires just balloon too much and pop. So that's why we have belted all-terrain tires on here now. But we're gonna go ahead and put it on the track, rip up the track, hit some jumps, probably do a backflip for y'all and let y'all see this baby in action. So let's go.